What's up, everyone? Welcome back to A Line in the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we're back today with another episode of the one-half scale Darth Vader from Fanhome and the last of the promo packs. Now, it's always kind of fun when you're getting these part works, like they really kind of glitz and glam you in the beginning. They're like, hey, look at these cool packages that you're going to get. It's all going to be nice and glorious, and then you get these. Stage 4, Stage 5. So here we are, Stage 4 and 5 today. Last episode, there was a lot to do just in one little stage. We say one little stage. There was a ton of work to do in stage number 3. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into stage 4 and 5, where there seems to be almost the same amount of work to do over these two stages. And seems like we're going to get a little bit closer towards finishing up Vader's at least helmet before we start working on his head, maybe, which would be interesting. So, all right. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to stage 4 and the last of our promo packaging. All right, so here is stage 4. Let's go ahead and take a look at the magazine. I'll just go ahead and set this off to the side real quick. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. And we'll take a look here. Is this number 4? It is number 4. There we are. Fantastic. Darth Maul. Very, very cool. This was done by Ray. This is portrayed by Ray Park here. Obviously voiced very famously in the cartoons and all that by Sam Witwer. Fantastic. Just between the two of them, they embody Maul so fantastically well. Talking about Maul and his kind of the story of how like basically the concept for Darth Maul and his part to play in the whole thing. And then of course, you know, he met his end versus Obi-Wan Kenobi a couple of times. And then Orson Krennic, Director Krennic, obviously responsible for the creation of the Death Star in a lot of different ways. Very, very good character. Fantastically reprised role in Andor Season 2. If you guys haven't watched it, I definitely suggest you do so. Fantastic. Very well done by Ben Mendelsohn. Fantastic. Just a well done character. Talking a lot about him and his motivations. And, you know, he very much a corrupt character, that's for sure. So very cool. Once again, Ben Mendelsohn did a fantastic job of portraying Director Krennic. Then we have our parts, and then we have our instructions. And we're going to have our finished result of stage number 4. So, as a reminder, I'm not going to be following along with the magazine. I am going to be following along with mydarthvader.com. Todd does a fantastic job of breaking down these instructions and making them a lot easier to read. And so, that being said, let's go ahead and get into our parts for this episode. And let's go ahead and get into the side. And for the last of the very nice stuff. Although I will say, these do take up a lot of space. And I would hate to have to continue to get the very large boxes from Fanhome over the next little while. Okay. So, let's go ahead and see if I can do this. See? Oh, look at this. I only made a ton of noise. All right. Excellent. Let's go ahead and get this top pulled off here. And while we have the tray, let's go ahead and keep all the parts in the tray. And we'll set everything off to the side here. I'm going to go ahead and get my screws, and we have some of these little pins here. I'm going to go ahead and get those opened. I don't know if we're going to need any glue, so we'll see. Get those open and out, and we have our D screws. These ones are done in silver. Are they going to come out? Wow, I didn't even open it. I opened that one side, but it wasn't even there. All right, there we are. So just remember that those are D screws. Oh no, goodness me. I've been building today, so there's a little bit of a mess around. Okay, let's go ahead and start by grabbing our mesh parts, our neck mesh, and to do so, I'm going to use my tweezers. Don't want to bend anything. Here we go. Excellent. So this is O3, and this is O2. Yep, just like that. So 3 and 2. And then let's go ahead and grab the rear neck piece here. All right, and with it positioned just like this, with the little T towards the bottom, then we're going to grab this part right here, line it up with all of our pins right there. Okay, we'll set it just like that for a second. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab one of these little connectors, whereas I'm finding out that Vader is definitely into some bondage. We're going to grab some of these pins. We're going to go ahead and put each one of these pins. We'll see if we need some glue here. We will not need glue there. So that's what the pin looks like. And there we are. Very cool. Now what we're going to do is with these two pins on here, these two mounting lugs, we're going to go ahead and clip them into the top two posts right here. Just like so. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab one of these washers here, just like that. And right here, we're going to go ahead and set that down right on top. And then we're going to use, they gave us a hex screwdriver. It looks like these D screws are hex keyed. We're going to go ahead and drop a D screw into place. And then using the hex key, we're going to go ahead and secure that into place. And there we are. Bit of a tight connection, but that's what that looks like. Very cool. Now we're going to go ahead and basically do the same thing on the other side. So just lining that up like that. Grab our next piece. Then a couple more of these studs. Get them press fit just inside these two holes there. Do like the fact that this is metal. Wow. There we go. Use the desk, basically. I just didn't want to use pliers and take off the point or something like that. Yep. Yeah. Such a tight connection that you're not going to really need to worry about, what do you call it? Using glue. Yeah. There we go. Finally in place. Goodness me. Now let's go ahead and grab our other little washer here. And then our other D screw. And doing the same thing we did on the other side. Clip that in place. Line up the hole. Get the washer in place. Keep forgetting that the hex drive isn't magnetic. I actually have a hex set up here. Just need to get it out, which I will for the next build. We're going to be continuing to use these. And get this started. Kind of got to like find its spot to get it lined up and tightening in place. I found. But you'll know as soon as it starts biting because it stops moving around and acting dumb. There we go. So there is the back of Vader's neck. Very, very cool. All right. Now, yep, just kind of checking that. Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and set this off to the side just in case we need it for later on. Now we're going to go ahead and grab his chest panel. There it is. Very cool. Then we're going to grab these 3 individual pieces here. And there we go. Get the plastic off to the side. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and, so this is 11. And then both of these are the same, basically. So I'm going to grab a little bit of CA here, just a little drop, just in case. Grab my glue tool. So we're going to grab the 2 number 10 spots. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the inside. And we're going to slide it over the post here. And by the posts, I mean these little raised sections here. Okay, just like that. Make sure it's pressed flat. I'm going to grab the other one here. Do the same thing. And we're going to go over to the other spot. Exactly opposite. Get that snapped into place. Excellent. And then, by process of elimination, we're going to go in the middle here. Check my instructions, and indeed, I was correct. Once again, not a whole lot of CA is being used, but just enough, just to make sure. All right, and with the little step down and this little foot down towards the bottom, we're going to clip that in place. Just like so. There we go. And with that, it looks like we have completed stage number 4. I gotta say, this is a really nice piece of photo etch, by the way. It's nice and solid, but definitely has, like, it's light, and it looks really, really cool. And it's cool to see the beginnings of Darth Vader's chest plate. So, here we are with stage number 4. Let's go ahead and move on to stage number 5 and finish up the initial trial packs. All right, so here is stage number 5. I do have to say, first impressions, one, unfortunately, my magazines did get kind of a little jacked up in the shipment, but whatever, I don't really care. I do love the color. The red of this magazine is really, really good. So let's go ahead and take a look at said magazine real fast. Oh, cool. I haven't actually read this one. Talking a little bit about Sith holocrons. I said that really weird. Basically, Sith storage devices and wayfinders. They're like compasses, basically. Here's Ezra interfacing with one. You also see one in Dryden Voss's collection in Solo, a Star Wars story. You also see one in Luthen Rail's back office in the first season of Andor. You don't see it the second season, though, which is very, very interesting. Talk about Cad Bane, one of the very, very cool bad guys. Kind of met his end, or did he, in the first season of Book of Boba Fett. A very well fleshed out character And one you can be sympathetic with but one you can also hate very much at the same time, which is very, very cool. And then we have our parts and our instructions. So let's go ahead and get on to building, shall we? Let's go ahead and take a look at our parts. And there's a lot of stuff in here. So let's go ahead and get to it, shall we? Lots of stuff in little baggies, which I like. Little Ziploc baggies, or not Ziploc baggies, but little baggies with zippers, which is good. All of our parts come out. I gotta say, the build quality and the part quality is just something that has really been impressive to me so far. Really glad to be building this right now. It's a great build so far. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our screws out. We got some more D screws here. We have some E screws. How interesting. Haven't gotten that far yet, but obviously we're going to be having lots of different screws here. I'm wondering if this is an entirely plastic model and we'll finally see metal screws later on, but nothing has been metal so far. So we shall see if we need to use 3-in-1 oil for this build going forward. All right, so let's go ahead and get our parts out. G screws, which look like flange screws. Okay, very cool. Our little collars. Lots of little baggies, lots of stuff. Magnet for the helmet. We'll leave that in there for the moment. Little bits of the collar here. We're going to build some more of those. This is for the magnet for the inside of the helmet. Along with this, I believe. The paper that the plastic that my kitten loves. Pieces of Vader's chest plate, or his chest controls. This looks like one of these. The red one is clear for lighting, which is cool. A couple of the chest controls do pulse with lights. There we go. Very cool. And finally, the little pieces for the edge of the helmet, outside of the face mask. So go ahead and get on to it, shall we? What we're going to do is we're going to start where we finished off last time, and we're going to go ahead and grab this piece here. And this one is going to slide over the top, match up with the pins. You're going to have to be might have to move the pins around a little bit with your fingers. There we go. Everything's clipped in, just like so. Very cool. Oh, it's good. Then what I'm going to do is flip this around, and for our first screw of the day, we're going to use a type G screw, which is one of the flange screws that I just saw. Where are you? There we are. Pull it out with my screwdriver. Yeah, we tighten that down. And there we go. Excellent. Now we're going to do the same thing we did before. Let's go ahead and just get all of this created all at once, however. Let's get all 4 of our little pins out. I'm going to go ahead and put these pins in to the center pieces here. All 4 of them, and I'll be right back. All right, so for whatever reason, those ones went by much easier. I wish I could say why, but I don't know. Okay, doing the same thing we did before. We're going to go ahead and lock this in place. And on both sides, I'm going to go ahead and put both these pieces in. So they sit side by side. So I'm going to go ahead and do this for both sides. And we're going to go ahead and put one of these washers and one of our D screws using our Phillips head, or not our Phillips head, but our hex key. And I'm going to go ahead and get those installed. I will get that taken care of, and I will be right back. All right, so a little tip and trick that I found when you're doing this, go ahead and put your screw on the end of your hex key, and then go ahead and drop the washer on top. Line up your screw in its spot, and then start screwing it in. You're not having to play a little game with it, and everything kind of just goes in nice and easy. Very cool. All right, so Vader's choke collar seems to be put in place. Very cool. All right, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and switch gears. We finished up this piece for the day. We finished up this piece for the day. Let's go ahead and bring back our helmet. But before we do that, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to grab this piece. We're going to flip it upside down. We're going to grab our magnet. Set it in place just like so. Okay. Then we're going to grab this plate. We're going to set it right over the top. Then using 2 type E screws, which is this one right here. We're going to secure that in place. You know, this model is really liking the PH00, so never get to use it. So let's use it for this model. Oh yeah, there's magnets here conflicting with each other. That's funny. Holding that in place with my thumb. There we go. Okay. We have the other one put in place. Do the same thing. Get the screw, put it into its hole. Hold it down with my thumb. Get it screwed into place. So one thing I'm noticing right now is both of these screws aren't wanting to seat properly. So this might be a good candidate time to use your 3-in-1 oil, but we got those in place. Excellent. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our helmet, flip it upside down, set the magnet over those posts just like that, and I believe we're going to grab, what you want to note, actually, real quick, is you're going to see this piece right here, this little detail notch. You want it facing towards the back of the helmet. And what we're going to do is we're going to use 4 type F screws. And once again, we're going to want to start these by hand and then go through and get these taken care of. So, oh God. I'm going to get this taken care of, which I'm assuming is going to be very frustrating. And I will be right back. All right, already figured something out. So what we're going to do is we're going to start them by hand up here before we put them in place down there. I think, maybe. Just like that. Yeah. Okay. We'll see if this works. Now what we're going to do is grab our helmet. Yeah. That worked. Just don't pull it out. Careful not to push too hard down on the helmet as well. I'm going to grab my pH 0 for this one. A little bit more girth, as they say. I don't know who they are, but they say it, and I don't know why they're saying it, but they say it. There we go. Our magnets put in place. Very cool. All right, so we're done with the helmet for this week, and I believe our final little bits here are going to be... Do each one of these have a little marking on them? They do. Wow. Okay, so this is 5.7, 5.10, 5.8, 5.9. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and grab his face mask. And we're going to go ahead and get the remaining pieces of these put in place. So, with the grills facing down, I'm going to go ahead and snap each one of these into place. It's going to go right down here. These are always a little loosey-goosey. Don't have it going in the right direction. That's fine. There we go. There we go. So what I'm going to do after we're done is I'm going to go ahead and... this is 10? Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and glue these in place. From behind. There we go. All right. This one is definitely going to need some glue help. It is not wanting to stay in place. So I'm using my glue tool. Just along the spots that are going to connect on the top and bottom, very loosely and lightly. Put a little glue. Make sure everything's facing the right direction. And there we go. In between episodes, I'll go ahead and get all these glued from behind. So there we are. And I believe that, my friends, is the end of pack number 2 and stages 4 and 5. And really, from the last week's episode, 3, 4, and 5. We've gotten a bunch of the work done here. Let's go ahead and close up Vader's mouth. Oh, that's really cool. That's really, really cool. Yeah, I'm very pleased with how that turned out. And I'm assuming we're going to do one of these things here. It's going to fit around back behind. Yeah, something like that, maybe. Or maybe like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But something like that, and with this helmet going to be sitting on top. And I think there's going to be a little ring that catches it up here. And there is some of Darth Vader's face. Well, very, very cool, my friends. This has been a fun build. And I've been really excited about getting this going as we get into what I would consider to be the meat of the build and no more promo packs. and a full shipment coming next month. So it may be a couple weeks before we see this again, but we will be back at some point. And when we do come back, I'm assuming that we're going to see some pretty cool stuff and finishing up Vader's helmet and hopefully getting his lenses put in place, because I'd like to get the loose bits all out of my box. So anyway, that's what I got for you guys today, and I just want to say thank you. I know that there was a million things y'all could have done today. Instead, you spent a couple minutes with me watching me build the Dark Lord of the Sith, and I think that's pretty damn cool. You guys have any questions or comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. Like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world where we happen to be. And just remember that you are one with the Force, and that the Force is one with you.